Hey guys, what's going on? ThePrideOfLDN here. You guys know what to do. As always, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's move into today's video. So we're starting off with some news about Reguilon. I'm going to have to learn how to pronounce this guy's name because it looks like Chelsea might be signing him, because this Spanish football expert, as you can see down here, named Alvaro Montero, so obviously Spanish, he's currently a Real Madrid player, so this guy might be in the know. We don't know for sure. He says, I think Chelsea will sign Reguilon. And there's not too much more to this report. It's just a report from the Spanish football expert, and he believes Chelsea will sign Real Madrid's Sergio, who has been voted the best left back in La Liga last season. So very high standards this guy's been setting. So that's one thing to consider, that whole, are we going to sign him, are we not? This guy seems to think we will, and that's ahead of, Ben Chilwell, Tagliafico, Alex Telles, all the other names we've mentioned with, he thinks we will sign Reguilon. And then there's another story about him saying Sergio wants Chelsea transfer after advanced talk with Real Madrid defender. So that is a little more interesting. Apparently the player wants a Chelsea transfer and we are in advanced talks. So let's read further into this article. It says, Sergio is keen to join Chelsea after the club has held advanced talks to sign the Real Madrid defender, according to reports. According to ESPN, Chelsea are now favourites to land him, and negotiations for the Real Madrid left back are now at an advanced stage. The report claims that the 23-year-old has the option of remaining with Sevilla, but the defender is keen to move to the Premier League. We're in talks now to determine whether the deal will be a season-long loan or a permanent transfer in the region of £22.5 million. Or 25 million euros. So that is interesting. I like that, because we're looking here, okay, so not only does he apparently want to join us, he's keen for the move because we've heard he wants to come to the Premier League. So, I mean, that's already a notch in our favour. And apparently the talks are at an advanced stage. So what does that necessarily mean? I guess we've not got down to contract negotiations with the player. We're currently in talks with the club to see if a deal is even possible. Whereas with Kai Havertz, we know, we convinced him to leave, and then we went to the club to sort of officially do things, and we're sort of now in the bidding process. So this time we go and bidding with the club first, see if we can figure out some sort of deal, if we can find what kind of fee is going to work, and also like, are we going to take him on loan or are we going to go for a transfer? I do think that we should take him on a permanent, but I would be very happily be taking him if it was something like a year-long or a 2-year-long loan deal with an option to buy, or an obligated fee maybe at the end of it, something like that, because this guy does look like the real deal, and for something around that price, that is very cheap, and Real Madrid needs to raise funds. So good news, he's apparently keen on the move, and we're at an advanced stage with talks, so that could mean, rather than just, I guess the basic stage would be us saying, okay, we're willing to pay 22.5 million, and them saying, yeah, okay, we'd be happy with that. And then advanced to be more, okay, how are we going to pay it? Are we going to pay 15 million and then the rest in installments? Are we going to do 18 million and then the rest in bonuses to add it up? Should we qualify for the Champions League and all this sort of stuff? Then the fee adds up. I think that's probably what advanced stage means there. So it looks like we're figuring out the fee here, and then it's just going to be a case of negotiations in contract talks with the player to see if we can get him, to join us. He's happy with the contract, he's happy with the vision that Chelsea are building. One thing to consider is some people are claiming that this report isn't as valid as it's coming across to be, and that it's his agent that is sort of drumming up interest for the sake of him moving to Everton, I think it is, another club that are interested. So it's possible that this isn't, as much as we're seeing, and that his agent is feeding pieces of news to reporters to try and, get a bit of interest going and see if Everton will be willing to pay more. Something like that is possible, but as far as I can tell, it looks decent. So hopefully Chelsea end up going for this guy, because I think a lot of people are keen for this one to happen. And in the comment section as well, I've seen a lot of you saying that this one is a deal you'd like to see go through. So we're keeping on with the sort of defensive theme to this one so far, and it is Chelsea make inquiry to Lewis Dunk's representatives at Brighton. Now, if you don't know about Lewis Dunk, we'll go into his stats in a second here, but it says that apparently Brighton and Hove Albion defender Lewis Dunk, the club would be willing to let go of the defender for the right price. And now that is it's very vague, but it says, according to a report from transfer expert Duncan Castles, Brighton's Dunk is one of the potential defensive recruitments that Chelsea are planning this summer. They have made their interest known by the centre-back's representatives at Brighton. and then basically a load of waffle after that. So if we take a look at his value, he is 28 years old, so, you know, heading in the prime years of his career. He's pretty damn tall, 1.92 meters tall. Valued at about 18 million, so not much at all, which is doable for Chelsea. I think we could use a player like him, especially for that kind of fee. His contract does have a while left on it. 2023 is his end date on that, so it's possible we'll see maybe a bit higher fee than 18 million. I could definitely see that happening. As you can see, his main position is centre-back, either side really, but he is a right-foot centre-back, so, you know, probably on the right, but it doesn't make any difference unless we have a left-footed centre-back, because, you know, you'd play them on the left. So yeah, this guy looks pretty solid. Of course, if you watch the Premier League, you know about him. He's probably one of the most solid defenders outside of, you know, the top teams. 36 appearances this season, managed to get 3 goals and 3 assists from centre-back, so pretty solid overall. He's good in the air. 9 yellow cards, which is probably a bit more than I would like, but it's, you know, you can look over that. 87% pass success rate, which is very good. 2.8 aerials won per game on average, which is very good. That's a good high number. 1 man of the match, and an average rating across the whole season of 6.89. Given that 6 is average, he's above average for the entire season overall, and you got to give him some credit for that. He's looking good, and yes, he's 28 years old, so he would probably be someone that we'd keep, I'd guess, until like 33, somewhere around there, 34. Probably give him a 4 or 5 year contract, which would be decent. I think he would definitely improve our defense overall. If we take a look at his strengths, he is strong at passing, concentration, and blocking the ball, so all good things, especially the passing. And when it comes to our team, we like to pass quite out the back. His style of play is he likes to play the ball off the ground often, and as an indirect set piece threat. So if you're not, you know, you got a free kick out wide, you're lobbing it into the box, he's a threat there, which is something that Chelsea don't really have. Zuma seems to be the one that always gets on the end of them, but he always puts it just wide. So it'll be good to have another threat so that, you know, there's not so much pressure on someone like Zuma to be scoring them. And then here you can see his recent matches, very strong ratings here at 7.42, 7.6, 7.6. This is the only one that was below average, and it was against Manchester City, so, you know, understandable. Brighton not up to par with Man City by any means. But all of these ratings are very high, like pretty much averaging 7 across all of these, a couple 6s in there and 1 below average. So this guy looks very solid. Like I said, if you watch the Premier League, you know about Lewis Dunk. I think would definitely be a good signing for us for the right price. I wouldn't want to be buying him for any exorbitant fee of like 40, 50 million. I think somewhere around 20 million, it'd be a fair price for Brighton. And I'm sure we'd give him a decent contract and everything. And yeah, I'd be happy to see this one go through. Let me know what you guys think of this one. And then we have another report about another defender. According to Football Insider, Chelsea have made Atletico Madrid Giminez their top defensive target. So there you go. There's a big bit of news. He's our top target, apparently. It's believed that we think the 25-year-old will help solve our defensive issues. Marina has held talks over a deal for Giminez. The Blues are hoping to sign the Uruguay international for around £60 million, despite the defender having a £110 million release clause in his contract. And he started 23 games under Diego Simeone this season. And we looked at his stats in a previous video, so I'm not going to go into them at the moment. But £60 million, it's a big fee, don't get me wrong, but I think it'd be worth it. He seems like a top defender, and we could would definitely improve our defense. I think if we, you know, got him involved, someone like Lewis Dunk from the last story, that would be pretty decent defensive partnership. Even though I think we should probably be keeping Zuma. I think he could definitely do a job alongside a stronger centre back. For £60 million, definitely worth a buy in my opinion. And then you consider the first story that we talked about today, Sergio. If we sign him to go on the left back position, he's a very strong defender. That'd be a strong defence, you know. And then you sort out the goalkeeper situation. You bring, I don't know if we're going to go for a top keeper. Of course, Ter Stegen has now signed a extension with Barcelona, I think, on a 5-year deal. So Ter Stegen is going to be out of the question now. Jan Oblak still unlikely given his massive fee, because it's going to be 100+ million. So that one's looking unlikely. It's going to be someone a little lesser. You know, we could be looking at Onana, who is still a great option if you ask me. But the defensive, we could have a really good defense. Our midfield is already really good, and our attack is set to be amazing as well. So we really could be building a strong team for next season. We get Giminez involved, Lewis Dunk, any of the other centre-backs that we've talked about. Realistically, a lot of them are going to be upgrades for us. Sergio at left-back, you know, a goalkeeper involved, Onana, whoever it'll be, Dean Henderson possibly. I'm hearing reports that Dean Henderson is not pushing for a move, but has told Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, make me number one at Man United next season or I'm going to be going. And that's going to be a big decision for Ole to make. So of course, they've got David De Gea, who previously has been an amazing keeper, but isn't at the moment. So what are they going to do? Are they going to keep him? Are they going to bin him off after all these years with him? And, you know, as soon as he starts to dip form for a couple of years, they're cutting ties. Logically, I think it makes sense if they want to move for a title challenge, but we'll see what they do. If they don't, then we might get our hands on Dean Henderson, which will be a fantastic keeper for us. But that is going to be the end of the video, guys. So if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, like good stuff. Let me know what you thought of these transfer stories in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.